This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. Use the promo code TYT1 and get 10% off your order. Comedian Gilbert Gottfried got fired as the voice of the Aflac duck. So if you've seen the Aflac commercials, there's that obnoxious duck, and the voice of that duck is this comedian. And the reason why he got fired is because he tweeted insensitive jokes about the tsunami in Japan. So I'm going to read you guys his jokes, and then I want to have a discussion as to whether or not he should have been fired. I know that we give a lot of passes to comedians because their job is to make jokes, whether or not they're offensive. But, you know, given the time and given the nature of the jokes, I want to see whether or not he should have been fired. So let's start with the first one. He said, "I just split up with my girlfriend, but like the Japanese say, there'll be another one floating by any minute now." Next joke. "My Japanese doctor advised me to stay healthy. I need 50 million gallons of water a day." He also...
See, I got to pause right here. So far, they're not even funny. Like, actually, a couple of them I see if he had made the joke a month from now, okay, I could see how they were funny. The 50 million gallons, it's not funny. I don't mean that in like it's insensitive. I just mean it's just not that funny, right? And the floating by, that's not really a thing that people say. So far it's twang and wang already, but keep going.
Yeah, I agree. The jokes I didn't find funny either, but let me go on to the next one. "I was talking to my Japanese real estate agent. I said, 'Is there a school in this area?' She said, 'Not now, but just wait.'" Next one. "What do Japanese Jews like to eat? Hebrew national tsunami." I don't know. Am I missing something with that joke? How would that joke ever be funny? Let's say he told that joke a year from now.
Right. How would that joke ever be funny? No, I guess he's going for Hebrew national salami. Mm-hmm. Salami, tsunami.
I guess it's just not funny to me. I don't know. Okay, let me go on to the next one. "I asked a girl in Japan to have sex with me. She said, 'Okay, but you'll have to sleep in the wet spot.'" What does every...
All right.
Go ahead, Cenk.
No, I mean, the school one, the wet spot, they're okay. Like, the others are disastrous. Those are okay.
"What does every Japanese person have in their apartment? Floodlights." "My book, Rubber Balls and Liquor, was released in Japan. It's making quite a splash."
No, come on. This is third grade stuff.
I know.
Come on, the splash, the floodlights is stupid. Come on. Look, if you're going to make incredibly insensitive and offensive jokes, and you're a comedian and that's part of your job, at least make them funny, man. Make it worthwhile. My recollection is maybe the last couple are not that bad, but go ahead.
Okay, so I'm actually at the last couple, so I'll read them now. "I effed a girl in Japan. She screamed, 'I feel the earth move. I'm getting wet.'"
No, stupid. Last one.
"Japan called me. They said maybe those jokes are a hit in the U.S., but over here, they're all sinking."
No, never mind. It turns out none of them were funny.
And let me read the final one. "Japan is really advanced. They don't go to the beach comes to them." Yeah,
That's a little more clever. That last one's a little bit more clever. Like, it reminds you of the old Russian jokes, etc. But look, comedians are in a tough spot. When Rush Limbaugh jokes around about it, it's repulsive. And he's serious. Like, he's mocking the Japanese people for being environmentally conscious, but they get hit with an earthquake and they die anyway. And he thinks that's a big hoot. He thinks that's really funny. It's not funny, right? But Gottfried's job is to be a comedian, and we give it much bigger leeway if you're a comedian. And Aflac's got to realize, hey, we hired a comedian for this job. But at the same time, even if you're a comedian, there's got to be some bounds.
Right.
And I think Gottfried probably went beyond those bounds. And by the way, the reason he actually got fired is a fact I had no idea about. Turns out 75% of Aflac's business is in Japan.
Exactly. So I can completely understand why the company would fire him. But I agree with you, Cenk. I mean, we do give a lot of leeway to comedians. It's their job to be funny. But you have to have some judgment. And I think that it's a little too soon to joke about something that is currently killing people and destroying their lives. So, it's definitely too soon. I think that the jokes were in poor taste. And, there are people who disagree with us. Joy Behar was defending him yesterday, and she basically said, look, some people, during tragedy find great relief in comedy. So I think that some people might appreciate his jokes. I don't really think that that's true, but, he does have a few defenders out there that give even more leeway to comedians. So, but I don't agree with Joy Behar.
Yeah, and Howard Stern was defending him too. And look, I get the logic of that, and I don't want to be overbearing and oh no, and be the comedian cop, right? And I get to decide when people make jokes or not. I'm just telling you my sense of it, and my sense of it is, look, at least wait till the tragedy's done and give it some space. Why do we think that? Because it's natural human reaction. People don't like it when you're joking about people that are dying right now. It's just
exactly
that's why it's in poor taste.
I think that a good comparison would be what happened in 9/11. Like if a comedian came out and made jokes about the situation of 9/11, do you think anybody would find that funny? No. I mean, we lost thousands of people because of that tragedy, because of that terrorist attack, and nobody wants to hear jokes about it. So
the thing is, I think Gottfried was involved in a roast at some point after 9/11, and they finally started making jokes about it, and it was cathartic in a sense, right? Mm-hmm. But that they had some significant time between when 9/11 happened and that roast happened. I think Gottfried got carried away thinking that this was a similar situation, but it's not. I mean, it's as if he was making jokes while there were planes still in the air. It's obviously out of bounds, and you just got to have some common sense and to know what's out of bounds and what's not. There is a time for joking, but in my opinion, obviously this isn't the time.
Cenk, if you want to buy a domain name, you want to know the best website to go to?
I already know it, GoDaddy.com.
First of all, they have 24/7 customer service.
If you want to download GoDaddy's free iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry app, boom, on your phone instantly. And if you go to theyoungturks.com/GoDaddy, you get all of our promo codes, like TYT1 gets you 10% off of all your orders.
TYT3 gets you a .com domain for only $7.99.
You can't beat that.